You didn't imagine it. You remember exactly what they said. Exactly how they said it. Exactly how it made you feel. And then they looked you dead in the eyes and said, "That never happened." And something inside you broke. Not because of what they said, but because part of you, a small, terrifying part, started to wonder if they were right. That's not confusion. That's not sensitivity. That's not you being dramatic. That's gaslighting. And it's one of the most psychologically devastating forms of abuse ever documented. Because they didn't just hurt you, they rewrote your reality. They made you question your memory, your perception, your sanity. They made you distrust the one thing you can never afford to lose: your own mind. This is forbidden knowledge. The psychological weapon most people never even realize is being used against them. And once you understand it, you'll never fall for it again. This is how they rewrote your reality, and how you take it back. The term comes from a 1944 film, Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's going insane by secretly dimming the gas lights in their home and then denying it's happening. But what happens in real life is far more insidious, far more personal, far more devastating. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone causes you to question your own memory, perception, and sanity. It's not an accident. It's not a misunderstanding. It's a deliberate strategy. Used by narcissists, abusers, and manipulators to maintain power and control by destroying your ability to trust yourself. Because here's what they understand that you don't. If they can make you doubt your own mind, they own you. If you can't trust your memory, you need them to tell you what happened. If you can't trust your perception, you need them to tell you what's real. If you can't trust your judgment, you need them to make every decision. That's the goal of gaslighting. Not just to win an argument, but to make you completely dependent on their version of reality. And it works. Slowly. Systematically. Until you don't recognize yourself anymore. Gaslighting doesn't happen all at once. It's a slow erosion. A calculated dismantling of your sense of self. Here are the 6 tactics they use. Tactic 1. Flat-out denial. You confront them about something they said or did. They look you in the eyes and say, "That never happened." Not, "I didn't mean it that way." Not, "I'm sorry you felt that." Just flat out denial. And suddenly, you're questioning your own memory. Did it happen? Did I misunderstand? Am I crazy? That's the goal. Not to resolve the conflict, but to make you doubt the conflict ever existed. Tactic 2. Trivializing your reality. You express how their behavior made you feel. They respond, "You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're being dramatic." They're not addressing what happened. They're attacking your emotional response to it. Over time, you stop expressing your feelings. Because every time you do, you're made to feel like the problem. Tactic 3. Diversion. You try to have a serious conversation about their behavior. Suddenly, the conversation is about something you did 6 months ago. Something completely unrelated. Something designed to put you on the defensive. They never address what you raised, because addressing it would mean accountability. And they will do anything to avoid that. Tactic 4. Counterattack. You confront them about a lie. They explode. "How dare you accuse me of that? After everything I've done for you, you're the one with the problem." The attack becomes so intense that you end up apologizing for confronting them about their own behavior. That's not a coincidence. That's a strategy. Tactic 5. Recruiting witnesses. Everyone thinks you're crazy. I've talked to your friends. They're worried about you too. Even your family thinks you've changed. They recruit real or imaginary allies to confirm their version of reality. Now it's not just them against you, it's everyone against you. And you're completely isolated. Tactic 6. Rewriting history. Events that happened didn't happen. Things they said were never said. Promises they made were never made. And the beautiful moments you shared, those were real. They remind you of those constantly, to keep you confused, to make you think, maybe I am wrong. Because we had good times too. That confusion is the trap. Because gaslighting never happens in isolation. It's always mixed with enough love and warmth to keep you hooked.
You just learned the 6 tactics. Denial, trivializing, diversion, counterattack, recruiting witnesses, rewriting history. If you've experienced any of these, you weren't imagining it. You weren't being too sensitive. You were being systematically manipulated. The next section reveals why gaslighting works so effectively on even the strongest, most intelligent people. Because this isn't about being weak. This is about how the human brain works, and how gaslighters exploit it. Stay with me. This is the truth that sets you free. Gaslighting works on smart people, strong people, educated people, people who would never describe themselves as victims. Here's why. Reason 1. We're wired to trust the people we love. The human brain is designed to trust those closest to us. It's a survival mechanism. When someone we love tells us something, our brain gives them the benefit of the doubt. Because the alternative, that the person we love is deliberately lying to us, is too painful to process. So instead of seeing the manipulation, we turn the doubt inward. Maybe I am remembering wrong. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe it is my fault. Reason 2. Gaslighting happens gradually. Nobody wakes up one day and realizes they've been gaslit for years. It starts small. One incident where they denied something minor. One moment where you were told you were overreacting, and you let it go. Because it seemed small. Because you loved them. Because you wanted to keep the peace. But each small incident builds on the last. Until one day you realize you no longer trust your own mind, and you can't even identify when that happened. Reason 3. The cycle of love and abuse. Gaslighters don't gaslight all the time. Between the manipulation, there's affection, warmth, the person you fell in love with. And that inconsistency is what keeps you trapped. Because if they were cruel all the time, you'd leave. But they're not. They're wonderful sometimes, which makes you think, maybe the problem is me. Because look how loving they can be. That's not an accident. That warmth is a weapon. Deployed strategically to keep you confused and attached. Reason 4. Isolation. By the time most people realize they're being gaslit, they've already been isolated from the people who would confirm their reality. Friends and family who raised concerns have been pushed away. Replaced by the gaslighter's version of reality. Their narrative. Their allies. You're alone. With only one source of truth, and that source is the person destroying you. Gaslighting doesn't just hurt in the moment. It leaves wounds that last years, sometimes decades. It destroys your self-trust. The most devastating legacy of gaslighting is that you stop trusting yourself. Long after the relationship ends, you still second-guess your memory. Your perception. Your judgment. Am I reading this situation correctly? Am I overreacting again? Maybe it's my fault. That voice in your head, the one that doubts everything, that's not you. That's them. Still living in your mind rent-free. It creates anxiety and hypervigilance. When you've been gaslit, your nervous system learns that reality is unstable. That things can be true one moment and denied the next. So you become hypervigilant, always scanning for threats, always checking and rechecking, always anxious about what's real. It destroys your relationships. You bring the wounds of gaslighting into every new relationship. You doubt your partner's sincerity. You over-explain yourself. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You shrink yourself to avoid conflict. Because the last time you trusted someone, they weaponized that trust against you. It makes you question your identity. Who were you before they rewrote you? Most gaslighting survivors don't know. Because the manipulation started so gradually and lasted so long that they can't remember who they were before. That's the deepest wound. Not just losing trust in others, but losing yourself entirely. You now understand the 6 tactics, why it works on everyone, the psychological damage it leaves behind. If you're sitting here thinking, this is exactly what happened to me, I want you to hear this. You are not crazy. You never were. Your memory is real. Your feelings are valid. Your perception was accurate. They were the problem. You were the target. The next section will show you how to recognize if you're currently being gaslit and what to do about it. Because knowledge is the beginning of freedom. Keep going. Here are the warning signs you're currently in a gaslighting relationship. Sign 1. You constantly second-guess yourself. Before you speak, you rehearse. You pre-apologize. You soften everything you say because you're afraid of how it will be received. Sign 2. You feel confused all the time. Not just about the relationship, about reality itself. You can't tell what's real and what's your imagination anymore. Sign 3. You apologize for everything. Even when you know something wasn't your fault. You apologize. Because somehow every conflict becomes your responsibility. Sign 4. You make excuses for their behavior. To yourself, to others. You explain away things that you know, deep down, aren't okay. Sign 5. You feel like you're never good enough. No matter how much you try, It's never right. Never enough. You're always falling short of a standard that keeps moving. Sign 6. You've stopped trusting your memory. You used to have a good memory. Now you're not sure about anything that happened, even things you know you experienced. Sign 7. You feel like you're going crazy. That persistent feeling that something is wrong, but you can't identify what. That low-level anxiety that never goes away. If you recognize yourself in these signs, you are not going crazy. You are being gaslit. Step 1. Trust your gut. Your body knows before your mind does. That feeling in your stomach that something is wrong? It's right. Stop overriding it with logic. Stop explaining it away with love. Trust it. Step 2. Document everything. Keep a journal. Write down what was said. What happened? How you felt. Not because you'll need evidence, but because gaslighting works by making you doubt your memory. Written records protect your reality. Step 3. Reconnect with your support system. Gaslighting isolates you on purpose. Reach back out to the people who knew you before, who can reflect back the reality that's been taken from you. Step 4. Stop explaining yourself. Gaslighters use your explanations against you. Every time you over-explain, you give them more material to twist. Say what you need to say once, clearly, and stop justifying it. Step 5. Seek outside perspective. A therapist, a trusted friend. Someone outside the relationship who can help you reality check. Because when you've been gaslit, you need someone else to hold the mirror until you can hold it yourself. Step 6. Understand that you cannot fix them. Gaslighters don't gaslight by accident. They don't gaslight because they're confused or struggling. They gaslight because it works. Because it gives them control. Because they choose to. You cannot love someone out of that. You cannot explain someone out of that. You cannot stay and fix that. The only protection from a gaslighter is distance. You now have everything: the tactics, the psychology, the warning signs, the protection strategies. If you've been gaslit, you now have language for what was done to you. And language is power. The final section is about healing. About reclaiming the mind they tried to steal. About rebuilding the self-trust they systematically destroyed. Stay with me. This is where you take your power back. 1. Grieve what was taken. They took something real from you, your self-trust, your sense of reality, your confidence in your own mind. Grieve that. Name it. Feel it. because you can't heal what you don't acknowledge. 2. Rebuild your self-trust slowly. Start small. Make a decision, any decision, and trust it. What do I want for dinner? Trust that. How do I feel about this situation? Trust that. What do I remember happening? Trust that. Self-trust is a muscle. It was weakened by someone who needed you to be weak. Now you rebuild it. One small decision at a time. 3. Recognize their voice in your head. That internal critic that says you're too sensitive, you're overreacting, you're wrong. That's not you. That's them. Still gaslighting you from inside your own mind. When you hear it, name it. That's not my voice, that's theirs. And then replace it with the truth. 4. Reconnect with your body. Gaslighting disconnects you from your physical reality. Your body holds the truth your mind was manipulated to deny. Reconnect through movement, breathwork, therapy, time in nature. Come back to your body. It never lied to you. 5. Allow yourself to be angry. Not at yourself, at them. Healthy anger is clarifying. It says, what was done to me was wrong. I didn't deserve it, and I won't accept it again. That anger, properly channeled, becomes the boundary that protects you from ever being gaslit again. 6. Know that your reality was always real. Everything you remember happened. Everything you felt was valid. Everything you doubted about yourself was a lie they planted. Your reality was never broken. It was stolen. And now, you're taking it back. Gaslighting is not just manipulation. It's psychological warfare. It targets the most fundamental thing you have: your ability to trust your own mind, your own memory, your own reality. And it does it slowly, systematically, with just enough love mixed in to keep you confused and attached. But here's what they couldn't take. No matter how hard they tried, the truth. The truth of what happened. The truth of what you felt. The truth of who you are underneath everything they tried to rewrite. That truth was always there, waiting for you to come back to it. You're not crazy. You never were. You were targeted by someone who needed to control your reality because they couldn't handle their own. And now you know. And knowing is everything. Welcome to clarity. Your mind is yours again. If this video described your experience, drop a comment right now and type, "My reality was real." Because it was, and you deserve to say it out loud. If this gave you language for something you've been living, hit that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more dark psychology that exposes what most people never see coming. On Hidden Truths Mindset, we don't just name the patterns, we show you exactly how they work. So you can protect yourself, heal yourself, and never be a target again. If you want to understand why you stayed even when you knew something was wrong, watch this next. It breaks down trauma bonding, the psychological mechanism that kept you attached even as they were destroying you. That video is on screen now. Watch it. Because gaslighting and trauma bonding work together, and understanding both is how you fully break free. Your reality was always real. Welcome to clarity. I'll see you in the next one.